This is Hannibal from thehannibaltv.com with a wrestling news update for August 26, 2019. Former Great North Wrestling Canadian champion and current Ring of Honor wrestling star PCO, aka Quebecer Pierre, was injured last night at the ROH event in Atlanta, Georgia. He took a dive on the side of the ring where there was nobody to catch him, landing face first on the cement floor, causing an injury that required 17 stitches to close up. I don't know if he got a concussion or not from that. He said that it was an electrical malfunction, I guess, in his brain that caused that injury to happen. I sincerely hope that he did not do that dive onto his head intentionally, because he could have been paralyzed from something like that. And he does have a daughter, and I really would not want to see him paralyzed just for a stunt like that. Thankfully, he did survive. He's calling himself the French-Canadian Frankenstein now. We recently posted a promo video he did for some merchandise he's selling. You can check that out on the Hannibal TV, and I'll share the footage of his dive on the Hannibal TV Twitter account, which is at the Hannibal TV. But I understand PCO's Ring of Honor contract expires December 1st of this year. In other wrestling news for the day, Can Velasquez was reportedly at the New Japan event. I think it was in San Francisco last night, where he talked to New Japan officials informally, according to Mark Raimondi. So there could be some interest in Can Velasquez from New Japan. He is wrestling on the upcoming AAA events next month and in October in New York and LA respectively. No news on who that's going to be against yet. Harry Smith, also known as Davey Boy Smith Jr., has told me it's all hearsay that it was going to be him. So time will tell who that's going to be against. Tickets for those events are not selling very well from all the reports I've heard. AEW is expected to announce at least one more date tomorrow. The tickets for their third and fourth tapings, according to the Wrestling Observer, for their Pittsburgh show, they sold 4,000 out of 9,000 tickets at that arena so far. And for Charleston, West Virginia, they sold 3,000 out of 10,000 tickets that arena can hold so far. If they're going to have wrestlers like Orange Cassidy, transgender wrestlers, and breaking kayfabe at their post-event press conferences like they have been, I really don't see that their attendance is going to increase once the TV show gets picked up, because that's really a niche market that you're catering to. When they first announced they were coming back, a lot of people thought this would have been the return of old school NWA style wrestling, when similar to what Dusty Rhodes was booking at the peak of Crockett Promotions. But from what I've seen from the company so far, other than the Dustin Rhodes versus Cody Rhodes match at Double or Nothing, what they're producing is very, very far from old school. It's actually about as far as you can get from old school from the stuff I've seen. So who knows if that's going to change. Somebody had a good comment on one of the AEW videos. You know, when they're signing Orange Cassidy before Davey Boy Smith Jr. and Ted Hart, that the company has some creative issues, and that's a very valid point. They also have some injuries. John Moxley, as we've reported, was injured. Also, Phoenix, another one of their wrestlers who's supposed to be on the All Out pay-per-view, was injured on Friday night. And I guess he did wrestle yesterday, but he didn't do much in the match, according to the reports. And it's unknown what the extent of his injury is. At this point, of course, John Moxley has been replaced in his match versus Kenny Omega at All Out versus the 5'8", 898-pound Pac, another lightweight wrestler that AEW has signed. Surprise, surprise. That is 90% or more of their roster from what I've seen, all small little guys. The reason why he didn't start with AEW earlier, according to Dave Meltzer, was because he was holding a championship for another company and couldn't do jobs, so that probably tells you a little bit about what the finish might be at this all-out show. Both Jon Moxley and Chris Jericho have contracts with New Japan, but with injuries happening outside of AEW, it's going to be interesting to see if AEW continues to let wrestlers wrestle in matches outside of AEW where there's a risk of them getting injured when they're being paid big money from AEW. Of course, Moxley's contract is already done, but maybe this will change things for the future as All Out loses some pretty huge star power, with Moxley being off the card as an active wrestler now, and at this point it's not known if he's going to be at the show or not. Starcast, the convention run by Conrad Thompson that's being put together in connection with All Out, has put out a statement saying if Moxley ends up being unable to attend Starcast, refunds will be given to the fans there who bought tickets for the meet and greet he was supposed to do. But as of right now, the people at Starcast said they don't know if it's going to happen or not, and they're going to keep everyone updated when they know more information.